Welcome to the Connect to Disconnect podcast. I'm your host, Indiana Sacasa, and today we have Julio Munoz, partner and personal injury attorney with Gonzalez and Munoz Trial Lawyers. Hi, Julio. How are you today? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing great. Thank you, Indiana. Very happy to be here.
Well, thank you. There was a lot of traffic, right? I've heard.
Oh, yes.
Well, I've heard, and I also drove in the traffic.
Yeah, my office is in North Miami Beach, so it took us a little bit over an hour to get down here.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about yourself, about your culture, where are you from, if you can just share a little bit about that.
Sure. So I was born in Cuba. My family came to the United States in 1970 when I was 3 years old. My parents and my brother, who's 2 years older than me. So we moved straight to Indiana. Okay. I was going to ask you how you got your name, Indiana.
Very interesting. Nothing about the state. So my mom's name is also Indiana. And it's because my aunt, for some reason, my aunt is older than my mom. Mm-hmm. So she chose the name for my mom. So she got it. And then I don't know if there was Indiana Jones already at that time.
We have to
find out. In Nicaragua, which is where I'm from, there's a few Indianas that I know. Like around my mom's age, and for my age, there might be like one or two that I know. And only one in Cuba also.
Oh, wow.
The other day I met one in Cuba, so it's not a very popular name, but it has nothing to do with the state.
You're the only Indiana that I know.
Yeah, I feel unique, to be honest.
You are unique.
Thank you.
But we lived in Indiana until I was 9, so between the ages of 3 and 9, I was there, and then we moved to Miami, and I've been here ever since.
Okay.
Yeah, and I went to school here. I went to undergrad to FIU, and then I went to law school at
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think, because you basically lived in Miami most of your life, how do you think that has shaped you as a person?
I don't know if Miami shaped me as a person. I think that the 6 years, like they call it the formative years, that I spent in Indiana really shaped me.
Really?
Because you hear about the Midwestern values and my word is my bond and kind of thing, and that's kind of like how I live, and I think that was instilled in me even like at a young age. Like nowadays, when you enter a contract, everything is in writing, everything's documented. But if you enter a contract with me, it doesn't really have to be, because whatever like I say, I do.
Okay.
And at the end, well, that wasn't a good bargain. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that's kind of how I live my life and do work and just live every day.
So you say you have a lot of the values of
the Midwestern. Yeah, and just living here in Miami, I love it because it's multicultural, multi-ethnic, and you learn to just appreciate differences in people and so I think that's what I love most about Miami, and just the weather and everything else that's going on here. Just a lot of activity.
Yeah, it's a very active city. Mm-hmm. I would say that I agree on that. The first years of your life, how they shape you, right?
Yeah.
And in my terms, I was born in Miami until I was 5, and at 5 I moved to Nicaragua.
Oh, wow.
So I have like a mix, and then I lived half of my teenage years in Nicaragua as well. But I'm a mix. But I feel I have the values of Nicaragua, mm-hmm. and I'm grateful that I was raised there and not here.
Right.
But I love Miami now, so it's
so it's kind of the same thing.
Yes. Would you like to share if you have any hobbies and maybe some people don't know about?
Well, I used to do a lot of scuba diving. I work a lot, so I don't have that much time for hobbies. I go to the gym. I started playing pickleball not too long ago. But one thing that I've been doing over the last year, and I'm trying to do it steadily, is to learn Italian. So just like small goal.
What got you interested in Italian?
I love Italy. I love travel. Mm-hmm. It's another hobby. But I've gone a few times to Italy, and I love it more every time. We have some friends over there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of words in Italian that are identical, if not pretty similar to Spanish. Mm-hmm. So it makes it a lot easier to learn, not like learning Chinese or Japanese or something like that.
I agree. I love the accent of Italian as well.
Mm-hmm. The food, I love everything.
Yes. When did you start it?
Over a year ago. But just like on,
Duolingo?
No, on Rosetta Stone and just on YouTube, watching different channels and whatnot. We have a friend over there. She told me that anytime I wanted to just on FaceTime, like a regular like session, but I don't think I'm there yet. I know a lot of words, but to be fully conversational, I'm not there yet. So
Yeah.
I'm working my way.
Yeah. Well, that's great because it
Yeah,
actives your whenever you're learning something new,
yeah,
your brain activity is like on fire.
yeah, definitely.
And when did you start pickleball?
Over a year ago.
Oh, okay, as well. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but yeah, slowly.
slowly.
Yeah, I started too fast, and then I tore a muscle in my calf. So it
Oh,
took me
you
out of
were too,
commission for a few months,
and then you joined back in.
and then went back to yeah.
Prior to becoming an attorney, you wanted to become a pilot when you were in high school. That was like super interesting. Those are two different, completely different things, right? Becoming a lawyer and a pilot. Could you share a little bit about this time of your life?
Yeah, but, when I was in high school, that's what my goal was. I want to join the military and I want to be a pilot. So I took ground school in Miami-Dade when I was in the 10th grade, and I passed, and I passed FAA ground school, and then the next thing to do was to get to my flight hours. But around that same time, my vision started getting bad, and at the time, it's not that way now, but you had to have uncorrected 20/20 vision to be able to be a candidate, to be accepted in any the military forces, to be a pilot. And so at the same time, I went to George T. Baker. I chose to, while going to high school, go to George T. Baker Aviation School, not because I wanted to work, have a career as a mechanic, but since I'm going to be a pilot, like I want to know how the planes work. I want to know how to fix one. If maybe I'll have my own plane in the future,
Okay.
and I would get it like another half hour, 45 minutes of lunch every day. So that was another enticement. So at the same time, I was going to aviation school and I did ground school. Um, and I just stayed with the aviation school since I was already in it. And when I started the university, I met up with a friend of mine that was in aviation school, and he was working at a repair station in the airport. And how much are you making? Do you like it? And it's like, yeah, I like it a lot. And were hiring. So then I applied and I started working as an aircraft mechanic. It wasn't really my goal. I didn't think I was going to do that, but I started working as an aircraft mechanic and going to school at the same time, going to FIU.
Okay.
And I worked for a couple of different repair stations, and then at the end I was working for Midway Airlines. So they were based out of Chicago, and it was good because I love travel, and you travel for free. You have a lot of other benefits. Hotels cheap, dirt cheap. Rental cars are cheap. At the time, that's how it was. And the airline went bankrupt, and so I found myself as a disrupted entrepreneur because toward the end I was specializing just on the interiors of the planes. Like when I started, I was doing sheet metal cutting and drilling and riveting and doing all that stuff. But at the end, it was just working anything inside the plane. It was the carpet, the seating panels, the side panels, the window shades, the seats, the galleys, the lavatories, anything when you walk in, anything there. That's
The
what I would
design
specialize
of the
in.
airplane.
And so went bankrupt. We had a couple of people that I worked with, and we started our own business doing aircraft interiors. So it was three partners at the beginning. We split up from one partner, and then I worked one full year with the other partner. We did some good work. We did the interior for Adnan Khashoggi's private airplane. He used to be the richest man in the world in 1980s. He was
What
an
was his
arms
name?
Adnan Khashoggi. He
Okay.
was an arms smuggler, and his fortunes were going back up because he was fixing one plane and he had goals to buy a much bigger plane. He said he wanted to get a 747, but he can't get the same size as the king of Saudi Arabia or the Sultan of Brunei because he's got to have like one lower. So he was looking at the time to buy a DC-10, and we were making a bid on it, and everything was like going pretty well. And my relationship with my partner just deteriorated. I went to his house one day, knocked on the door, and I looked down, and there was a little box, and on the box it had the name of of our company, and it was from a bank, and I could tell it's a checkbook, and the bank was not the same bank that we were banking with. So he opened up a bank account somewhere else, like to do side work. So
Using
that
the name of the company.
using the name of the company doing side work. So that kind of was the end of that relationship. So around that same time came Hurricane Andrew, and we had some damage in the house, and the adjuster from State Farm came over to do the estimate of damage. And I started talking to him about the company, and he's like, I love the company. And
that's the other part of your life that you started working
yeah.
at State Farm.
Yeah, I love the company, and they have cost of living allowance. They give you raises on top of that every year, and you have this and that and the other. So I applied, and I started working at State Farm. And this is at the time I just graduated. I got my bachelor's from FIU. So I went then to start working at
So you
at
had
State Farm.
your own business while you were at FIU still, or you had graduated?
Yes, when I was in FIU. But at that point, I split up from my second partner, and I was either going to go on my own, the business, or I'm going to go a different route. So I just had a bad taste in my mouth for business, from the experience that I had with like the two other partners. And I said, let me give State Farm a try, because the person I talked to said that the company has a lot of room for advancement. And so I gave it a shot, and I started working at State Farm right after the hurricane.
And
which
you
was
were
a very
there for 10 years?
Yeah, it was a very busy time. I worked there for 10 years. I worked at the beginning, at the time, I don't know how it is now, you start at the bottom, working property damage claims, and there's like a million of them after the hurricane. So it was a lot of work. So I did that for 10 months, and then I went over to the PIP department for 3 months, and then there was an opening in the bodily injury and uninsured motors section. I worked there, I don't know if it was a year or 2 years. And then after that, I went to the special investigations unit where we focused on investigating fraud, and that was fun.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Do you have any interesting stories from that part of fraud stories?
The ones I can talk about.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. There was a life insurance claim that they assigned to me. It was a young guy. He was in his 20s. He was from Honduras, and he was living here. He took out a few policies with State Farm, like a few different policies of life insurance. They added up to $250,000 at the time. I guess it was high. It would be like $500,000. Somebody in their 20s. He doesn't have any children, doesn't have a family, and he said that he traveled to Honduras on his birthday. They were having a birthday celebration for him. And you know, the Latin people say, if you don't go swimming after you eat, because you're gonna die.
Yes.
Like my mom said that, like a lot of Latin people. And that was the story. He ate and he didn't listen to his mom. He went swimming and he drowned. And they're making a claim, the family's making a claim for $250. So there was a couple of red flags, and they assigned it to me just to look it over. So I investigated. I found out that he was living with a preacher, renting a room in his house. And I interviewed the preacher, and the preacher said that he took everything with him when he went on this trip. It was supposed to be like a week-long trip. He took like all his clothes, and he kind of indicated that he was never coming back. That's what he told the preacher. And when I went to his employment, I talked to them, and they said that no, he just went for the 1 week vacation. They were shocked that he died. And when I talked to the preacher, they told me that he had braces, and he knew like the name of the dentist. So I was able to go to the dentist's office, and I was able to get the X-rays for his teeth. We tried to interview the family in Honduras, and nobody would really cooperate. And the point person was the brother-in-law, who was the mayor of the town, and he was a medical doctor, and he's the one that signed off on the death certificate. And we find out that he signed off when he was outside in the parking lot. They didn't even bring him into the hospital. He just stamped off. He died, and I guess in Central America and South America, it's common to bury someone like quick. So the next day, boom, 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 in the ground. So there was not a lot of evidence to go by. And we wanted to talk to the parents, and they said, don't talk to the parents. they're inconsolable. We don't want anyone talking to them. So I wanted to go to Honduras. They wouldn't allow me, but they sent a private investigator, and we wanted to petition the court over there to exhume the body, and they needed the X-rays. So the X-rays were crucial. Without the X-rays, they weren't going to allow the body to be exhumed. We had to wait. Because it's typical in like Central American countries, when you're getting close to December, everything closes down for the holidays. So we waited to January, petitioned the court. They allowed us to exhume the body, and they bring up the coffin, and inside was 2 big bags of cement. So it was kind of like a scandal in the little town because the brother-in-law is the mayor and a doctor. He's the one that signed off and said that he died. So it was kind of a scandalous thing for him to be involved in. So we can prove you lied about this whole situation. So I don't know if he's ever been arrested. Obviously, we didn't pay the
So you
claim.
never found him?
We never found him. No. I'm assuming he's still in Honduras.
Wow.
Yeah, but we saved the money. Before this, the adjuster that was handling the claim in the main office, they handle it out of the office in Illinois, said that they were going to pay it because there wasn't sufficient evidence to deny the claim until we were able to get the evidence. So I had to push them to say, no, don't pay. Give us more time to investigate.
How long did this investigation took you to?
It took a few months.
Okay. And you couldn't do further if you find the person?
To find him, no.
Yeah.
They won't allow us to go any further. Just deny the claim, and I don't know what else. I let the main office do whatever they want to do. I don't know if they can do something through Interpol, to put an arrest warrant out. I don't know.
Do you had to travel a lot for investigation during this time?
No, not really.
No, it was
State
not
Farm
that common.
No, State Farm does a lot of training, so we would travel to Broward once every month. We have a meeting with the Special Investigations Unit in Broward and Dade. Once a year, we spend a week in Orlando for training, and then once a year they have a national conference in different cities. And I went once to Phoenix for a conference there, but there's not a lot traveling other than for training. And I've been to the main office a few times for training. SIU school is 2 weeks long. Regular claim school is 3 weeks long. Those kind of things. It's just mostly training.
How did you transfer from that? Because you were there for 10 years, and I believe you did like 6 years of fraud claims. Then you partnered with your business partner, Victor Gonzalez, right? That you met since high school?
Yeah, no,
for personal
40, I don't know how many years, 40-something years already.
Yeah, how was that transition? And why did you decided to,
So I was negotiating claims on a daily basis with lawyers, and I came to the realization that I knew as much or more than the majority of lawyers that I was talking with. So it's kind of like a natural transition. My boss, no, he wasn't my boss at the time, a coworker at the time went to law school, and so I could see it was doable. And in SIU, their schedule's a little flexible, so I was able to use that flexibility to be able to go to school at night and get my work done during the day. So the whole time I was in law school, I was working at State Farm in the Special Investigations Unit. Okay. And as soon as I graduated, then I transferred over to the in-house legal department, working out of Broward, Fort Lauderdale. So I worked there for 2 years to gain experience. Enjoyed it, but it came an issue of pay because State Farm, they don't have a mechanism to trigger like a good increase in pay every year, like 3% or whatever. So that wasn't doable, and I knew my friend was working in this field, so I moved over and I started working with him. And at the time, we had another partner, so it was 3 of us at the time.
Okay, so he had already had the law firm. He was already working for personal injury.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you were 3 business partners.
So it seemed like everything was like a natural transition.
And how do you feel? Because it's been like 20 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Doing PI now.
Yeah. I feel like more because I started in '93 with State Farm. So,
yes.
So I feel like I've been doing it for 30 years, actually. For 8 years, not as a lawyer, but I still feel like all that training, was kind of like the same thing I'm doing now. So I have 30 years of injury experience. And as a lawyer since 2001. Yeah, so 24 years.
24 years. And about, and the since with Victor is since
Yeah,
2000.
so Victor for like 22 years already.
Okay.
For since 2003.
Is there something that you feel you have meaningfully learned in this, 22 years as a business partner for personal injury?
Everything, everything. One thing that like a life lesson, I think is to not be a jack of all trades or a Jane of all trades. Like you really should specialize unless you're a handyman, or there's some people that are good to know a little bit about everything. Because I'm one of those people that I watch the local news, state, federal, the world. Like I know a little bit about everything, but that doesn't really help a lot in business. So in law, in other businesses and most other businesses, it's good to know a lot about one area. So I consider myself a specialist in personal injury, wrongful death. You can have a second specialty, but I think that's good. But more than two, you're pushing it because you can do it, but you're not doing it to
100%.
100% the top of your game. So I think that applies to a lot of different areas in life to specialize.
So you feel, let's say, passionate and proud of all these years that you have, prioritized personal injury.
Yeah, I love helping people. I liked when I worked for State Farm as well, but I like the fact that I help people. And some people are in bad shape and they don't know what to do after an accident, and they haven't been able to get back to work, and we do what needs to be done to help them. So I love the helping part.
Do you have what would you say is your biggest life lesson? It doesn't have to be about your professional experience, just in general.
To maybe to keep your life in balance, like the yin and the yang. You can have periods in your life where it's out of balance and it's okay because there's no way you can get around it. You're pushing in one direction. But it's not sustainable. Try to keep a balance in your life. Work hard, play hard is kind of my motto. But I can't work hard without the playing hard part. So I think everything should be kind of in balance in life in general.
That's why the traveling gives you that energy, so then you can come back and
or whatever it is
all that effort.
Yeah, whatever it is that relaxes you and to refreshes you and allows you to come back and do whatever you were doing before. Yeah.
If you wouldn't have become a lawyer, what do you think you have become? Well, I know you wanted to be a pilot, but that.
Yeah.
Did that hurt you a lot? Like,
no,
disappoint you or?
No, I mean at the time maybe, but no, I don't look back. I know a lot of pilots, and I know a lot of them that are happy, but I don't think I would like it because I'm very family oriented, and I'm not one of these people that like to do a lot of things by myself. Like I've traveled by myself, and you go to a museum and by myself, and it's okay, but it's not as fun as when you're with other people. And pilots, their life can be lonely, always on the road, always traveling. When we're fixing planes, I would work in the afternoon shift, and there's no planes to fix, whatever. We'd go to like a sports bar around the airport, and the bar's full of pilots, people drinking, and it just, didn't seem like
your lifestyle,
like my lifestyle. Go from place to place and just hang out at the bar until the next flight.
I've heard, which I didn't know, that a lot of pilots become depressed.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. I think I started reading that this year.
Yeah.
Because I know someone, and anyway, he was a pilot, or anyways.
Yeah. A friend of mine.
And sorry. yes, no, sure. So I mean, I'm just never crossed into my mind. Yeah. But now it makes sense if I think about it.
Yeah, because you're always out, sometimes you work long hours as well doing it. I don't know if the job could be tedious, but a friend of mine, she worked with me at State Farm, and she became a pilot. She was flying for the commercial, starting her way up. Now she's a pilot for United, flying the big planes. the 777s, and she loved it.
Oh, she loves it.
She loved it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say a
So,
sad story.
No, not a sad
There's
story.
a happy story.
So there's happiness.
There's happy stories and sad stories.
Happiness, but for me, I don't know. It may not have been happy.
Yes.
So I don't look
at
at
the end, everything happened for a reason. Cause
I don't look back at it.
Thank your eyes that they deteriorated.
Yeah.
And you didn't get that route.
Thank God your eyes deteriorated.
It's happened for a reason.
It's true. It's true.
So if you wouldn't, so you're happy with the you wouldn't
happy
have
with
had
what
another
I'm-
profession. You wouldn't have chosen.
They say people work an average of 3 different careers in their life, and I've kind of had that already. I've been an aircraft mechanic, and I worked
very
as
different.
fraud investigator, and now an attorney. So I've already done that. My goal was to just do something good in life. I don't know what I was going to do. I'm envious of that 5-year-old kid that says, I want to be a lawyer, and they do everything necessary, and they become a lawyer, and they knew when they were little what they wanted to do, but that wasn't me.
That wasn't you.
No.
Yes.
But I thought maybe I'm going to be, business manager or something like that. It would be the alternative.
It's interesting how every even if it's so different, how every decision and every professional experience that you had then led you to this. So it's interesting when you when you commit to something and then
Yeah, because it was just kind of a natural thing. I didn't plan everything out.
Yes.
And it just happens.
That sounds me.
Yeah.
It just happens, and
Yeah.
then here
Yeah.
we are. So now we're gonna discuss of a topic that is very interesting, which is about how social media can make or break PI claims. And last episode we talked about PTSDs after an accident. So today we'll talk about the effects of surveillance and social media on personal injury cases. Before I wanted to ask you a question before we get more into detail. Is it getting more difficult nowadays to prove injuries were caused by an accident to the insurance companies, and why?
It has become a little bit more difficult in the last couple of years. March 23 of 2023, the tort reform law took effect, and that could be a subject of a whole new podcast.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of negative things that negatively affect us in that law, like the statute of limitations went from 4 years to 2 years. If you're more than 50% at fault, you no longer can make a claim. The future medical expenses have now been kind of curtailed. There's a lot to it, so that kind of made it a little bit more difficult. The law's always been difficult in Florida, because we have the PIP law. Florida's a PIP state. Since 1972, we've had PIP, and part of PIP is a threshold, a tort threshold. So you got to prove one of these 4 things for our clients to get any money for pain and suffering, for any non-economic damages. So we'd always have to prove it. So that's something that always there, but we have to prove that either death, significant scarring, significant loss of a bodily function, or permanent injury within a reasonable degree of medical probability. And we kind of grab onto that one most of the time, unless the clients have scarring. So we've always had that we have to overcome when you make a PIP claim. But the biggest thing, I think, is tort reform. And the law that I mentioned is just an example of it. But tort reform has been going on for more than a couple of decades. And it's kind of an organized effort. You can do another podcast on tort reform too.
We're getting more topics here.
It's an organized effort to change how people think about cases. They want people to think that the lawyers are the bad ones, that the people who are injured are the bad ones, and the insurance companies are the good ones. So part of that is in these lawsuits, there's a big verdict and everybody hears about it. Like recently, the $200-something million autopilot crash here in the Keys at the Tesla. $200-something million. Everybody, wow. And the lady that spilled coffee on her lap, she got $2 million. And people are like, oh. And it gives the impression that juries are just giving away money. And people are getting money when they don't deserve it. And some of these commercials I don't like that we see from us lawyers that you won this money. It makes it sound like I won the lotto.
Yeah.
And those things are all bad. When the insurance company wins cases, nobody hears about it because it's not something that's newsworthy. So they win all the time, but no one hears about it, and people just get this impression that all this money's given away. My insurance is so high because of these cases, and we see that when we interview a potential jury during jury selection. We see it all the time. So that's another thing that we're up against. So when we start a trial, we would think that we start both even, but we don't. We feel like we start like at a disadvantage, and we have to have such a good case that eventually we overcome all these disadvantages, and that the tort reform law and tort reform in general and the PIP statute, all that are disadvantages we overcome.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because you just brought up the whole insurance company thing, et cetera, but that they're making it tougher to go against them. You want them to look like the good guys, et cetera. They're giving away money. So I don't know if you've seen on Instagram lately, at least in the last 2 or 3 years, it's been super, super like very common, but you'll be scrolling and then there's a lot of reels or ads or whatever about insurance companies, probably brokers or marketing companies of the insurance companies trying to sell you cheaper insurance. And then when you get that insurance, you realize that all they're really doing is lowering your coverage or selling you insurance that has no BI.
All right.
So it's
and they don't tell you.
It's it's messed up, right? Because it's kind of all these people driving with no insurance, and then some people have all these crazy policies, and then the ones who have the crazy policies end up paying out all this money to someone who has minor injuries. Sometimes obviously real injuries, but then there's all these people that get hurt by somebody else who has no BI on their policy, and then people like you already know that it's a huge issue, but then the insurance companies are pushing for these lower coverages. It just, to me, it doesn't
make
understand
sense.
why.
Because Florida allows it. That's the problem.
But
it's allowed.
What's the reason behind the insurance companies?
Because you have a bunch of people driving around with no insurance.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
We got rid of PIP 2 years ago, and then the governor vetoed the legislation, and maybe it was political because he was running for office at the time, and a lot of people that have that crappy insurance or no insurance, then all of a sudden they're going to be paying more money because the law as it was passed was you have to have, I think it was $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident of BI coverage, and the tort threshold was out the window, and I know the doctors didn't like it because doctors like PIP, but we kind of liked it. But it got vetoed, and the veto never got overrun. But Florida is one of the worst states in that regard because it requires you to have BI coverage, minimum of 10-20, which is nothing, but it doesn't require the insurance company to sell it. So they sell you coverage, and people come in and say, I want the cheapest.
Yeah.
Of course, the cheapest is not going to have it, so they're buying insurance that doesn't have BI.
Or even when you say I want full coverage, they never mention UM.
Yeah.
So you have full coverage.
Yeah.
And you think, and then something happens, and then the other person doesn't have insurance, and then you cannot. And then you're just what's UM?
Right.
I've never heard of this.
And
no one ever offered it on the phone, and then you have to ask for it. So it's even the term full coverage should be.
Yeah, in that term, there's no definition for it. People throw it around all the time. What's the definition of full coverage? To me, it's having everything that they sell. But,
exactly. Is it full coverage?
That's what clients tell me. But I had full coverage. No, we didn't.
Exactly. And they don't even say okay, full coverage is this. If you would like this, then is this. This is it. They don't explain anything, any of that.
Yeah, but sometimes people I want the cheapest. So then I don't even try to sell all the other stuff because they want to beat out somebody else just to make the sell. Yeah.
So you think that's why they push for all these ridiculous policies because people can't afford to actually pay $25.50?
Yeah, because they want to sell.
States, they make you get
I think people can afford it. If everybody had it, then it would be more affordable too. Because right now we're paying for people that are driving out without it.
That makes sense.
I have UM whoever crashes into me is probably not going to have BI.
Right. I have it too. I'm already ready for it.
Yeah.
No, I have it too, by the way.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You should have.
Yeah, we all should have. There should be a commercial about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But-
never gonna allow
Yeah,
it.
I know,
They're just
but there
sitting
should.
there
Right.
upselling VR. But
There should. Okay, so now let's dive into today's topic. Social media has become a powerful tool in personal injury cases, and not always in a good way. Anything we post online can have serious legal consequences. In many cases, attorneys have used social media content to challenge a plaintiff's claim about their injuries or emotional distress. For example, photos of someone on vacation or engaging in physical activities, even if those were taken before the accident, can be presented as evidence to question the severity of the injuries. Sometimes, even the most innocent posts, comments, or tag photos can be used to question credibility or suggest a more active lifestyle than what's being claimed in court. So, I wanted to first ask you if you have how has social media affected your profession in the time that you have been practicing?
Well, it's affected some cases that we've had, yeah, and it affects the instructions that we give to the client at the beginning of a case. We know for a fact that the adjusters just routinely look at social media to see if they can get any
So it's a
information.
normal routine that they
It's
do.
become normal where
It's
before
become-
it wasn't. Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
100%.
In the last few years.
The last few years, yeah. Social media's been around a lot more than that, but in the last
Yes.
few years, it's become pretty standard for everyone all the adjusters to check social media. Yeah,
So will you say some of your cases has impacted positively and others negatively, or?
we have mostly negatively.
Okay.
Yeah, I see a situation like I'm standing here and there's a big field in front of me, long field. At the end equals like successful case resolution, and the goal is to get from here
To there.
to over there without hitting what I'll call a landmine. And social media is a landmine. And you mentioned surveillance before. Surveillance is another landmine, and along with surveillance is all these cameras that are proliferated nowadays, which could be the dash camera, cameras on the streets, cameras on the buildings, ring cameras. So those three types of surveillance are like landmines for us to try to overcome, to not hit, because you hit one, you can die, or you can make
And
it to
the
the end,
video
but you're
game is
missing
over.
you're missing an arm or leg.
Yeah.
You made it, but it's not. It's good, but we have examples of actually one of each that it's
If
affected.
you want to share, feel free to share.
Yeah, I could share.
Yeah, I
don't think
was
it's
gonna say,
anything
is it
private.
common, let's say, of that they go and want evidence from like cameras where they work, or like
No.
is that's no?
Where they work is not common.
No, okay.
Not common. No, but I'm trying to think. For social media, I had a client. She got married, and what do you do after the wedding? You go on the honeymoon. So what do you
It's
do
a
on
normal thing to do.
Yeah. What do you do on the honeymoon? Well, aside from spending a lot of time in the room, which is what
Yeah.
she should have done, she spent a lot of time out of the room doing very, very adventurous things
With the
yes,
husband.
with the
Like
husband.
both, okay.
Meaning the one, day one, it was like the wave runner, and it's on
The
video.
wave runner.
Day two, they documented a long hike through the forest and how many miles it was. Day three is like the banana that you hang on for dear life. It's being towed behind the boat. It's like, what's next? You know. So after we did a demand, the adjuster then sends a response, and attached to it is color photos from the social
honeymoon.
media from the honeymoon. It's like, oh boy.
They got free pictures for the
Free pictures. Yeah. So we were able to settle the case. So I'm not dropping the case. We were able to settle it, but it affected the value of the case. Even though I tell people at the very beginning, be careful. And in terms of a case that did cause us to close the file, destroy the case completely. There was a gentleman. He was living in the Keys, and he came here up to Aventura. He went to Publix, and he said he slipped and he fell, and they called fire rescue. He went to the hospital and everything. And he said he was in a lot of pain, and he said that it definitely got captured on the store video because he's got a friend there that works at the store, and his friend told him about it. So that's kind of coincidence. Your friend's there, but that's good to know. And I allowed a statement to be taken from him. I normally don't allow statements.
From who?
From our client.
Okay.
They were pushing. We want a statement just as to how it happened. So okay, I'll allow it because there was something didn't sit right. So the adjuster comes to the office for an in-person statement, and I immediately know that he's from Special Investigations, like the area where I used to work. So that's a red flag for me. So he starts the interview, and he asks the client if he's ever been convicted of a felony or any crime involving dishonesty. And he said, no, never. And then the adjuster says, well, isn't it true between 1975 and 1982, you're in federal prison for bank robbery? Like, oh, yes, I forgot.
7 years?
Yeah. Anything else? Any other arrests? No, nothing. Isn't it true between 1985 and 1990 something, you're in federal prison for another bank robbery? Oh, yes. So, it's going downhill from there.
A third of his life, and he forgets.
Forgot. So then he says, let me show you the video of the accident. Is this you? And he looks, and yes, this is me. So in the video, we see he goes into the aisle in Publix where the water is. And there's some people at the end of the aisle, and he's looking around like this. He leaves, comes back, and now there's nobody in the aisle. So he goes up to where the waters are, and there's this looks like a shiny thing in his hand. He goes like this motion, then he throws himself to the floor, and the water's coming down. So as soon as I saw that, it's like, here's a card for a friend of mine who does criminal law. If you get arrested for this, then give him a call. But I'm out. There's no saving.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, there's not a case we can save.
Of course.
So that was an example of how they use the CCTV cameras to capture something negative and destroy a case. I see social media kind of like surveillance too, because you're surveilling yourself. You're taking video of yourself, or somebody else taking video of you, and you're posting it online for the world to see. And then sometimes it's negative, and you allow the insurance company to pluck it and to use it against you. And surveillance is when the insurance company hires a private detective to follow you around to see what you're up to. We had a case. She's a good friend of mine. She fell in her condo building. I don't know if it was second story, third story, where her building is. But she takes the stairs, not the elevator. And on Christmas Day, as she was getting to the bottom, she slips and breaks her ankle. It's a bad fracture. And our case was that the stairs was missing the non-skid tape. Some of them had it, but where she slipped, they didn't have it. So that was her whole case. And during the pendency of the case, we took it to litigation. They got surveillance on her, and they used it against her like in three ways. The first is that she testified in deposition that she always hangs onto the rail.
And she did.
And the video, she's going up and down, and she's not holding onto the rail. And the second, they had her at Sawgrass Mills, like one of the longest malls, walking the mall, and she looked pretty normal walking. And then the third surveillance, they got her at the gym, and she was 45 minutes on the treadmill. She wasn't running, but she was walking at a good pace. So we were able to overcome it because the video at the mall wasn't continuous video. So we asked the guys, so where's the video when she sat down to take a break? No, she never took a break. Well, we have to trust you then, because you didn't shoot continuous video. And wouldn't it be better for you if she didn't take a break to shoot continuous video, so you can show us that she walked this whole mall without taking a break? So why would you cut and stop the video if you're getting her walking the mall like they said she was? So we're able to combat it that way. The surveillance at the gym, we were able to talk to the surgeon, the orthopedic surgeon who did the surgery, And he said, yeah, I told her that she should
not.
get exercise. She should
Oh, she
exercise,
should.
and
Okay.
she's doing exactly what I told her to do.
Okay.
So so they thought it was a great video. It turns out it wasn't that great because the surgeon, the guy who actually did this, the surgery is not somebody we chose or found. Like the doctor signed this emergency surgery to him. He told her this is what you need to be doing, and he's happy to see that she was doing it. But the judge, and this was before Judge Lando. This was her last trial before she died. She had brain cancer at the time.
Oh wow.
And she called us in, and she said, "This surveillance is really bad. Where were you guys at mediation?" Because she wanted to see if we can settle the case. She doesn't think this case should go to the jury. And our client was like, wow, like the judge thinks this, because I didn't think it was that bad. I thought we were overcoming it. The judge thinks this. I got to reconsider. And the attorney said, well, we were at 100,000, and then we had rejected it. And she says to them, talk to your adjuster and see if we can put that money on the table. Put it back on the table. And if they had put it on the table, I think our client would have taken it. So they had to talk to the adjuster overnight. The next morning, the adjuster says, nope, you didn't take it at the time we offered it. Now we're offering you 70,000. And her bills are, 60-something thousand. So I was happy to see that they didn't put that money on the table, because the client may have pushed us to settle the case.
Yeah.
So we went to finish the trial the next day, and she got awarded almost 600,000 in the case. So that's an example of it looks like bad surveillance, but we're able to overcome it and succeed at the end.
Yeah. How long does this entire process if you remember?
That case?
Yeah.
From the beginning, it was maybe 4 years to the time I got the trial.
Wow.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
We had a case that went 15 years.
15?
Yeah.
What was that?
It was trial.
Oh my God.
Well, we didn't
Of
start
my
the
life.
case. We didn't start the case. We took over, but it went to trial. It got appealed to the 3rd District and went to the Florida Supreme Court and got bounced back to trial. So it went all through all the court system in Florida. And went back to trial. It was a wrongful death case.
Oh.
It was a principal and her husband, who was a teacher. They both had been working public schools for 30-something years, and they had just retired. And they were driving up to Orlando to, I don't know if they had family or just to go to the parks. And on the way there, on the opposite side, coming south, was a tanker that just filled up in Port Everglades. It was full of gas. And somebody cut the truck off, and the truck made a sharp left right through the guardrail. It was like a knife through butter. And you see guardrails, and you think, that guardrail is protecting me. Didn't protect them. It went right through the guardrail like nothing. And it went maybe 50, 100 yards through the median, because the south and north lanes were not that close together. It went through the whole median and into the northbound lanes and hit them head on. And they died on
right
impact.
away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was that case, and it was a very long case.
And it was passed on to you. You didn't start the case.
Yeah, no, it was afterwards. The son fired the original attorney, and then we took over. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And at the end?
We settled the case, but it's a story for another
Another
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have 3 more stories with Julio.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit. The son was not happy with the panel. And like I said before, sometimes we talk to the jury in voir dire, asking questions, and the answers kind of like are shocking to us. And one of the people said, I don't believe in payment for wrongful death. People die, get over it. Things happen. That's what he was saying. And our client was a former professional football player, big guy. He was still big after a few years out of the league. And you could see he's fuming. And at the end, we got a jury. Sometimes you get a better jury than others. And this jury was so-so, because there's a lot of very conservative people that don't necessarily help us. And we picked the jury. He agreed to the jury. And within a few minutes, he said, no, I changed my mind. We told him, no, they've already been impaneled. there's no changing of your mind. We got to go forward. He starts raising his voice, and the judge calls a recess, tells us to go in to talk alone with the client, and things happened. Furniture flew. Things happened in the room. The police came from every single courtroom. Within seconds, it was full of police. So mistrial, of course, but we were able to still settle the case, and the client was really thankful and appreciative of us. And my partner, who we had problems with in that room, he bought him a bulldog statue for him. Bulldog, this is for you, because he was able to stand up to him when he was wrong in the moment, and he respected us for it, and we were able to settle the case. It didn't go to trial. We were able to resolve the case to his content. He was happy.
After 15 years. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because after that, then we'd have to, who knows how long until we get it scheduled again for trial.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Wow. That's thank you for sharing. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Do you usually give any piece of advice to your clients when they sign with you about social media and all of this and surveillance?
Yeah, the first advice is to not be on social media, but that's not practical.
Now it's like an addiction.
For a lot of people.
Right now it's like, I cannot.
Yeah. Like, don't drink water anymore.
Don't drink water.
So
that's crazy. We're in that era. Yes,
we are.
That's right.
We are. We represent a couple of influencers, so for sure they're not going to be off.
That's their job.
And we have other people, like personal trainers and the people that use social media for their jobs, so they're not going to be off of it.
Yeah.
And the other people that they just live their life on it, so they're not going to be off of it.
Yeah.
So the advice is to be off, but if you can't be off, then to at least look at your security your privacy settings are, and adjust your settings and make sure people can't easily access whatever site you're on. Don't accept any friend requests. Don't follow anyone until the case is over, because you don't really know 100% who you're following and who you're allowing in as a friend. You might have a picture, but you don't know who that person really is. No. So a private investigator could do a lot to be able to get into your social media. So we tell them that. Tell their friends not to post about them, and not to post any photos or mention them, link anything to them at all. And even if it's like previous stories or from the past, they might link if you posted today, but it was from a month ago, it might link them to to today. And ethically, I cannot tell someone to delete the social media or delete this post. I can't. So we have to be very, very careful how we treat it. And I can't even, like hint, like it would be really bad if this insurance company sees this photo or this video. I can't even do that because that's really unethical. So it's like pretty clear ethical line. I cannot, once it's there, it's there. So try not to have it be there. Yeah, so you recommend it if their profile is public to make it private. Private, at least. Yes. But it still doesn't secure. People can still get in, even it being private. There's a will, there's a way, and they'll try to get in. And they'll look at your friends and they see if your friends or family have anything on you. Because sometimes they might have something, video of you doing something. So they'll do that. Even though you're private, and they can maybe get it through your friends. It's another way. Or family. Yeah. I mean, you share some very interesting examples of how social media affects the case and surveillance. I'm just gonna read like two. I have like 6 here, but for example, here the one in Los Angeles, in LA, a pedestrian accident victim posted a status update joking about how they were exaggerating their limp for sympathy, and the case was dismissed when the defense submitted screenshots, even though it's just a joke, right? Like how even things that look simple or like, oh, it's not gonna hurt me or anything, how can affect entirely a case. Correct. When I was an attorney with State Farm, like I came from the fraud background, so every case I did a lot of surveillance, and when we're when I was in the organized crime unit, we'd investigate clinics, and we do a whole week of surveillance on the clinic from the time they open and the time they close, and two-person surveillance so they can see the tag numbers and people. So I was used to doing a lot of surveillance. So when I came over
The other side.
to the law firm for State Farm, they weren't used to doing a lot, but I push every single case. Let's do surveillance. And there was one where we got the guy just washing his car. It doesn't seem like anything too big. Washing his car. So this is a week before his deposition. So during the deposition, I start asking, is there anything you can't do that you could do before the accident? It's a typical question. He mentioned like one thing. And so I threw examples. What about, are you able to run fast? Are you able to do this? Are you able to do that? And then I threw in, are you able to wash your car? And then no, when is the last time you washed your car? I haven't washed my car since the day of the accident, because now I have to pay people to do it. So that little thing, just washing his car, like you can wash your car and be injured.
Yes.
But
the fact that
it's
you
the lie. So
the lie.
Yeah, it's the credibility now. Your credibility is at stake, and credibility is everything. So
I think the one you were thinking of was like the Houston one, where the guy was like,
the one,
his
the
back
concussion.
was all messed up, and then he posted something that literally said "back at it."
Yeah.
back at it.
Yeah.
There's one. Yeah, there's one here. Go to here. It says, a Burbank client posted a video of themselves lifting weights while on disability for a back injury. So their settlement offer dropped by 60%. Then there's the other one. A teenager in Houston suffered a concussion after a sports-related accident and sued the school for inadequate supervision. But a few weeks later, she posted a TikTok dance trend video. And the school district attorney cited the video to argue that she was not experiencing, any symptoms, and that dropped.
Wow.
But even that, TikTok dance video, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. They can be sneaky too. Like before, I've heard cases where a private investigator, and it's not the adjuster, they assign it to investigators, like independent companies. They'll see where your car is. They'll show up, before you wake up, like early morning, whatever, and they'll put like something right before the door, like some money, and you're getting to your car, you see something, they bend, so we got them bending. So they sometimes
really even that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And there's one case that I'm familiar with where they were videotaping someone, and they lived like in a condo, and it was a guy who was in the pool swimming. So the investigator called like a girlfriend and told her, come over, bring your bathing suit, and he had her go into the pool.
Wait, the investigator called his girlfriend to come to the pool.
To go into the pool, and I guess she was talking to him. I don't know if they were flirting. And next thing you know, and this goes back because this time they had a pool with a diving board, because now you don't see it anywhere. But it was a diving board, and then he starts diving, like kind
to
of impress her, and he looks like such good health, and that was
wow.
Yeah, that was one that.
But is that ethical? Like, is that
no,
common?
It's not ethical.
That's not ethical.
But
is that common? That investigators, did they allow it? Like, if they then find out, oh, you asked your girlfriend to do this, doesn't that?
No, but I'm sure they got away with it a few times. But after a few times, then you see that this is what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
And if it comes out in court or something, you're going to look horrible. So no.
Yes.
So we don't want them to do it. But that just goes to show you that some of these investigators are
how far they go,
and sometimes they'll do stuff you don't know that they're doing something unethical.
Wow.
To capture the video. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Come here, flirt with this guy. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, and cameras are so good nowadays. They can get you from a block away and get really good video.
You cannot hide.
Yeah,
you can definitely not hide from people.
Yeah, now you have the glasses.
Now you have the glasses. Yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, we're in the future. Mm-hmm. It's like it's crazy. Yeah. Social media started when I was like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
And then anyways, it's crazy how far how we become, and now we are addicted to social media. I wanted to ask you this last question before we talked a little bit about Connect. With AI tools scanning posts and videos now, it's about how is social media changing your strategy as a PI lawyer? Yes, if you think Do you have any?
Not really. I mean, strategy is the same thing. From the very beginning, we kind of attack it, tell them what to be careful of, and the insurance companies assume they're looking at all their social media, and we find out ourselves what social media are you on, so we can try to go ourselves on there to see what we can find. So we do a little bit of research on our own clients up front.
Are you currently using any apps that you believe every PI or non-PI attorney should be using?
Yes, Connect is one. Connect.
Sounds
Good answer.
Yes.
sounds like I know that.
Yeah, we
Sounds
also
familiar.
we also use Auto Data Direct. You can get insurance information directly from Tallahassee. We use TLO XP to do background searches on people, find vehicles, and it was excellent.
What's it called? TLO?
TLO XP. It's TransUnion product. So excellent, both products.
Yeah, for a few
All
years.
three that I mentioned,
The three.
excellent.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. What do you think of Connect? You've
Connect?
been using it for, I believe you've been part of like 2 years, but
Yeah. So we love Connect. It's super user friendly. People like to treat either close to their home or close to their work, and sometimes it becomes like a task for us to try to find a place that would satisfy them. We look and find someplace, and it's 30 minutes away, so it's very inconvenient. People might say, okay, I'll do it, but then 2 weeks later they stop treating because it's just too much of a hassle to drive that far. So Connect, you can connect people with clinics, medical providers close to wherever they want to be, and it's such an easy thing to do. Punch it in, boom, boom, boom. Here it is.
boom, boom, boom.
And,
I like that.
and they're all quality clinics. From my background, I can tell you that's not in any shady clinics, any clinics that we have to be concerned with, and they're people that know what they're doing. And on the app, you can follow the progress of the cases, so we love it.
Which is a difference from Google, right? Some law firms are like, oh, well, I'll just go to Google and
Yeah.
I'll find it. But then,
Yeah.
first of all, you need to start calling and make all this research. And
Right.
then they're
Right.
not vetted, of course, because you're
Yeah.
in Google.
Mhm.
And with us, they're all vetted
Yeah, exactly.
with the background check. So
Yeah.
it definitely has helped you and your team.
Yeah, it definitely has. We're happy with.
Is it more you're the only one using it? Does your, I know you have a legal assistant. Does she
Yeah.
also,
Right now, my partner and I have been the ones using it.
okay.
But I think we're ready now for everyone to really start using it.
Okay. What will you say to another lawyer if they ask you why Connect is essential? I mean, you pretty much just gave a word, but let's say I'm just a lawyer and I just heard of Connect, but I have no idea what Connect is.
Yeah, you don't have to do the legwork yourself to try to speak to people and find out information about the clinic. And it's very hard to Miami's so big to find clinics that are reasonably close to wherever people want to treat. It really is. And it could look like it's close, but with traffic, it could take people 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get places. So people want comfort and convenience.
Sure. Last time that I went to your office, I don't know if it was a few weeks ago, but I briefly mentioned about Patient Link, if you remember, right? That you have the option
Yeah.
that the client now is able to choose themselves. They get a link via the email. They're able to click on it. They get the map, and they choose the provider that's best, the best for them. But how do you feel about compliance in general? Patient Link, do you think that helps?
I don't think there's anything wrong with us suggesting a clinic or using the app to find a clinic. I don't think it's a violation. People want our assistance. I'm not pushing it. People,
Correct.
They tell me, I don't know where to go. Please guide me. Please help me.
Correct. If I just get into, well, I work here, but if I'm just a normal person, I get into an accident and I hire a lawyer, and then the lawyer's like, oh, find one. And I'm like, well, I can go to Google
Right.
and see where it's close to my house, but I have no idea. Like, I have no idea where should I go. I have
Right.
no idea about doctors. So as a regular person that, doesn't get into an accident all the time, it's
Right.
it's such a comment that the attorney is like, well, like there's this and this providers, whatever works best for you. The advice, the piece of advice. So I agree. I agree
Exactly.
with you.
You're using technology to fix a problem
Correct.
that existed.
Yeah. Would you change or add anything to our Connect features?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I think your app is really good. There's, it's a stable platform. I've never had a delay. It's never crashed. Everything's worked the way it's supposed to work. So changes to features, I really have no idea. I think you guys have everything that we really need.
We keep upgrading to be better and better.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're all striving to be better.
Exactly.
But I can't pinpoint like this is what you need to do. This is bad, or this could be better. I can't pinpoint anything right now.
Yeah, so you're happy and
Yes.
has facilitated your teams and
Yeah,
perfect. Well, thank you, Julio, for everything that you shared. If there's anything else that you would like to share.
No, I think that's it. Thank you for having me. I've had a good time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. Wishing you a beautiful holidays with your friends and family.